11 keys for 10. Tentacle! Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. As you can tell, it's not water this time. It's Gatorade. I'm really trying to hydrate up, and it's not going great. Not going great. Event ends soon. Event does in fact end soon. I don't know that I participated in the event at all, to be perfectly honest. Not for lack of trying. Mostly due to real life stuff, like always. That's how it works. But one thing that is notable about this, aside from the event ending, is at the time of this recording, it is the 18th of February. The Phobies anniversary is the 7th of March. Officially, like the day is the 7th of March. So we'll see when we get the actual deployed patch. We got the ARG event last year. So I'm curious to see, do we have something similar to that coming? Are we going to get something as big a scale as that? I would assume not, just because, the anniversary is a big deal. But the very first anniversary is a real big deal, right? It's one of those psychological things where is the 10th anniversary really more meaningful than the 11th? No, but it's just how human brains work, right? So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, but it should be pretty much right around the corner, just a few more weeks. But speaking of things that are right around the corner, by the time this goes live, Fright Night 13 will be tomorrow. So not February 19th, but you get what I'm saying. The official date is the 24th and 25th. 24th is going to be our Swiss rounds. The 25th is going to be the playoff rounds. I'm excited to see what people have in store because similar to Monster of the Week, we're going to be getting Phobie bans. We're going to be implementing Phobie bans for the first time in Fright Night. Felt pretty fitting for the 13th event. I wanted to make a big deal out of it, but I also at the same time, we got to run the events. I don't want to do anything too wacky, so we'll see how it works. I am anticipating, as I mentioned and talked about a little bit last night during Monster of the Week, that we will be removing all of those restrictions. All of the training wheels will be off once we get the promised balance patch, because I think it's worth, even if it turns out, and I'm not saying this is going to be the case, but let's assume worst case scenario and the balance pass actually makes things worse. I think it's worth proving that out, and tournaments are a great way to do that because everyone has an incentive to play their best and abuse the strongest phobies and most powerful strategies. So we'll see what happens. No, it's how human brains work, casually admitting he's a lizard brain from the shadow government. Sure, something like that. But chat, we have some games to look at. We got a couple more added to the queue since last night when I last looked at it. So we should be able to get through all of these unless they're exceptionally long games. Or I die of a heart attack in between because I'm still have this weird chest pain. I don't know. We'll see. But as we get into it, I, of course, have to let everybody know that I am, in fact, part of the content affiliate program. That means that the Phobies team does give me in-game coffee for producing Phobies content. Just got to get that out at the front. Let's get into the games, chat. All right. Let's see. What do we have on deck to start? All right, we're jumping in with Jeremy, period. I know we've talked about their name before. It always makes me laugh when people have real-world names in their video game land. Going up against Rosarius, who is a common game submitter themselves. here on Diabolical. Not the most interesting game, but I'm so freaking happy that I beat a well-known high Sum of All Fears 2 player with a 30-level difference in place twice. I almost pressed the surrender button this game. GG Rosarius. All right, let's see. Let's see. You know what the thing is? You have to... Char player 1 is crime. It is a little abnormal, I'm not going to lie. I don't know if this was a matter... Yes, Bell. Sorry. You had your opportunity. You had your chance. So back to the crime that is turn 1 jar. I don't know why that happened. I don't know why that happened. Honestly, like, was this just panic? I don't understand. Charon. All right. So real talk, Charon. We have seen Charon work on this map before, and seems like a reasonable play for a variety of reasons. I think even the least imaginative minds can come up with some reasons. So we're looking at level 13, level 12. That's a level 18 Gravedigger. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Lots of value out of that 3-cost jar. I mean, to be honest, you get a lot of value out of jar. I don't know if this is you're trying to shoot for sarcasm here or not, but like, let's be real. Jar gets a lot of value. Jar puts in work. I'm curious at what points Jeremy was intending to surrender here. I'm imagining something dies on this turn unnecessarily, maybe. But this seems kind of bog standard to a degree. The aggressive invade here with the Hevo is something that, or just aggressive invades in general, are very common on this map. And from what I recall from the last time I played it, like when it was last in rotation, definitely feels that way. I mean, this displacement is cute and all, but like, they can just walk back here to the stem, still have everything in range. Which is probably why this Evo didn't take the stem, but I feel like it probably could have. It probably would have lived through 2 hits, 3 hits, 4 hits, 5 hits, most likely. Instead, the cat's going to occupy the stem, and this is still going to be a dead Evo. Yeah, you probably died. You probably die. Because the double hits here isn't quite 700 damage, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's close enough. Red Speedola. This is the map. I mean, again, I can't remember if they came out in the same patch or not, but this is the map that everybody always looks to try and stuff Speedolas into. Notably, our hero here went for the daisy on the... Okay, this is probably a turn where Jeremy wanted to surrender, right? The daisy notably did not go onto, like, say, the mud tile, which I kind of get because then Jinston gets an easy kill, but... Yes, it was true, Luffy. It was true. Speedola coming in, slapping the snot out of that level 18 Gravedigger. You monster. Like I told her, she had the opportunity. She had the opportunity. So I imagine this is at least one dead Speedola. Like this... Oh no, that is not a dead Speedola. Oh, that's real bad. I was going to say, I assume the Hematic Jinsting and Gonzo would at least be able to take out the red Speedola, but it's proving to be too tanky, and that is a stemmed up Hevo. That means we're going to get a panic point advantage with both Speedolas still live. I don't know about sending the jar there. Like, real talk, I don't know about that one. But, I mean, okay. It does force bad guy Rosarius here to split their forces to a degree. Yeah, I know that story, Luffy. Trust me, I know that story. This is just super awkward, and this is a big highlight of what often happens on Diabolical. So, our orange player here only has this narrow gap to try and thread their team through, and there just isn't enough surface area to actually get things to connect up here. They have the damage, most likely. But I do want to point out, to Jeremy's credit, the heads-up play with going for this Finnegan right here so that you can get the boop and then the immediate retake. And then, yeah, this is an enormous amount of pressure, and in fact, it's going to be lethal pressure. A 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to 1 panic point advantage. Yeah. That's a lot of damage coming down. GG. Well played. The red one's super tanky. Yeah, I think that's the tankier one. One's higher damage, one's tankier. I don't remember which one it is, but Kira solves this issue. To a degree. To a degree. But that also necessitates 2 turns of getting a Kira online. But, I mean, don't get me wrong. Akira's going to do Akira things. Akira's going to do Akira things, so I wouldn't be surprised if Akira completely upends that sort of push. Which, it's interesting because, for example, Karst had recently commented in Ask the Devs that a lot of high-level players are high stress level, high rank, are just kind of bum rushing the heart because the heart stops scaling, but the phobies keep scaling, and they just push enough damage that you can just bum rush the heart on a lot of maps if you're over-leveling your opponent, which it's ironic that Karst of all people would say that they don't want that because of the most common suggestion change that Karst champions for is to turn up the velocity of games rather than down because of the potential for stalemates. And I don't know if... I mean, realistically, everybody wants this. They want games to matter. Like, the decisions you made, you want to actually play a game. You don't want it to just be decided to be like, oops, well, we just completely ignore each other, or we just stare at each other for 1,000 years. And it just struck me. It was kind of funny. It's like, oh, how the turntable. All right, game 2, we got dontinklsnif. Welcome back. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. Took some time off. Life stuff and all. Well, I hope everything is going well with you, Dontinkle. But I'm back, and shout out to Spartacus Bad for the game. GG's. Also, I heard you weren't feeling well in Discord. Hope you feel better soon. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, yeah, it was not a good week. It was not a good week. We'll put it that way. I'm still, as I mentioned earlier, I'm still under the weather a little bit. I'm not feeling 100%. I legitimately feel like I pulled a muscle vomiting so much and so violently. So we'll see how that one turns out. But anyway, coming into the game, just play better Phobies. True. Frosty is actually crazy on Diabolical. I mean, Frosty's probably good on a lot of maps, right? You can, but it's only available on certain maps or huge level differential. Well, that's, I think, what Karst is saying. Karst wants phobia on phobia violence, possibly. Ooh, bad guy. Little fire-breathing dragon action. Get a little puff. A little puff action. dontinklsnif. Back to their shenanigans. Like, Don, what is you doing? What were you doing that you came back in the first game? Like, timeout. dontinklsnif says in the notes, sorry I haven't been around for a while, which is fine. Like, nobody should feel obligated to, you don't have to submit games, you don't have to be around for the stream or whatever. I mean, it's appreciated, but like, don't feel obligated. Real life takes precedent. But then the first game you come back and you go, I'm gonna get him. It's gonna be a flesh crawler game. But also notably, like, look at the troll face here. The Jackalope King. Like, I want to crop this right now. Like, I think I'm going to write this down. Like, I think I'm going to write this down. This timestamp. Because I kind of want to, like, cut this out and use it for a meme. But anyway, like, Don, what are you doing with this flesh crawler? What is happening here? That is what Karst wants. Karst has explicitly said that positive. And Karst often references a quote from the devs pre-launch that was their goal. But the thing is that I think the vast majority of Phobies do have a place. It's just we're quibbling about percentage points. You know, like if a Phobie is used in 3% of games, that may be its reasonable place for its particular role. And then we're arguing about whether it should be 2% or 4%. We're not arguing about whether it should be 50%. And I don't know how much people recognize that. There's also just a game design. Ooh, we get a little Mildred action. We can come back to this after the game, but like there is a game design argument that no, that just shouldn't be the case. It's fine that there are bad Phobies. And I think there's an argument to Karst's point about, well, the devs said that they want everything to be feasible. Well, what the devs say and what the devs do are two different things. And guess which one matters more? Like, seriously, I'm not making a joke here. It all comes down to if the devs say they want A, but then they do B, actions speak louder than words, right? But we'll see with the rebalancing. It's a notable year. We're not getting the Mildred going in. Why? Well, we got triple resurrect Phobies. This is not something you commonly say. This is just a dead attractor. No. Well, you know what's funny is like every time I see something like this, it's like, well, why did they do that? Yes, you burned 6 keys, but essentially you got an attractor pull. Sort of. And honestly, killing this pterodactyl now is going to be significantly easier than it otherwise would have been. I don't know if I would Mildred hit it. I was about to say, like, what is going to kill this? I really feel like there had to be a more optimal turn there. There had to have been. Like, why didn't you Mildred to begin with? Like, if you were going to Mildred, why not Mildred and then you probably kill the, well, maybe not. I was going to say maybe... I was going to say you probably kill the snowball, but maybe you don't. Gross. Down goes Mildred. That's 11 keys for 9, right? Because it was Cassowary, Mildred, or Pterodactyl. Oh, no, it was Pterodactyl Snowball, so 11 keys for 10. Tentacle! You don't often get flesh crawler hits. They need to be celebrated. They must be celebrated, chat. You know, now that Sizzle came out and I can't unsee the ear hair with the flames, I keep looking at Baby Snakey instead of a Cobra hood as like giant cartoon mouse ears. Like, it looks like a really messed up Jerry from Tom and Jerry. You know what I'm saying? By the way, we're down to 0 keys. I don't know what happened in this fever dream of a game. Honestly, I thought for a second this thing was going to die. Ooh, interesting. So electing to go after the... What? How did this not die? That's a tanky Jin Sting. That's a tanky ass Jin Sting. But realistically, bad guys just hemorrhage too many bodies. Oh. Spreading the damage appropriately. This Ted has been out on the board for a long time. That was weird how Ted, like, looked the other way, because Phobies will turn to face when they get hit. But that Ted, like, looked the other way and then looked back. He said, nope, I'm not going to watch it. GG. Got him. Chad, I've been getting presented with a lot of Walking Dead stuff as of late, and I don't know why. Like, I do like zombie movies. I like zombie stories. Ted reminded me of it. But I don't know why all of a sudden I'm getting inundated with Walking Dead stuff. Is there like a new season or something coming up? So they're doing like a big marketing push? I don't even know if that show is still on the air. I only watched the first season. And I never read the comics. Honestly, like, the most... and this is the unfortunate part, is the most interesting thing to me, and like just straight up entertainment-wise, is the zombies, the undead, and, like, why are the undead there? How did they get there? How does the plague in this particular story, or, you know, like, how did zombies work in this? Is it a plague? Is it magic? Is it... aliens? Is it something else? Whatever. Is it literally a demonic invasion? Whatever it happens to be. How do they propagate? That sort of stuff. And, like, the zombies need to be the central threat. The problem is that realistically, zombies are not a threat. If there was a zombie plague, the only way it would work in real life is if, like, it was a highly contagious, highly infectious, highly lethal disease that, like, went around the world immediately and zombified, like, 90% of the population immediately. And then 90% of what's left will probably just die of starvation, exposure, and dehydration because just the way the modern world works. And then, like, things collapsing. Like, imagine all the things that, you know, you just need a person to press a button every day, something to, like, keep it running, but that person now turned into a zombie so they can't press the button, and then, like, you survive the apocalypse and you happen to be walking past a power plant, kaboom. Like, those are the sort of things that are going to happen. Like, that's the only way it works, and it also only works if the zombies are probably runners. But then there's like all kinds of questions where you quickly run out of, well, how do you keep the zombies a relevant threat? Because obviously humans will adapt, whereas the zombies wouldn't. And they're only really dangerous in large numbers or when they're unexpected. And what happened? They're still just decaying bodies. What happens when they just decay? Like, after 2 winters or something, like, those bodies are done, if not sooner, right? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to make zombie stories that are entertaining and interesting and aren't just, like, such an enormous stretch that it can't work. Like, there's a level of suspending disbelief, and then there's, like, okay, I just can't buy this. Like, it's just not possible. But zombie movies aside, we have Dino Nugget movies. Sort of, I guess. This game went down to who could do more damage to the heart, and Unbearable pulled it through. Hey, who could have possibly seen that coming on Coulrophobia? Probably anyone with thumbs. Probably anybody with thumbs would have called out the fact that Coulrophobia leads to this. Although we did I forget whose game we were watching. I feel like 2 weeks ago. It had to be at least 2 weeks ago. Where they kind of did this. The Gravedigger opener into Unbearable. Into... I don't remember if they went Cassowary, though. I don't think it was Cassowary. But something very similar to this, and then Unbearable. And Unbearable kind of controlled the map. Although I think ultimately the Unbearable player lost. Somebody let me know down in the comments, because I don't remember. We watch a lot of games. This is why I need to write these strategies down. Like, actually legit take notes, because it's now at the point where I've seen so many games and stuff where it's just... They all kind of run together. You don't like this opener? Bowmangles is your current open on this map. So, Karst, and honestly, so this was part of it. What we see Bad Guy doing here with the Stabby is similar to what most people would do with a Bowmangles opener. You just sprint the turret across the bottom, get it on the stim, go ham. The thing is that depending on how you do this opener, you can get a turret into position to shell that phobie pretty quickly. Now, the way that our hero did this, they didn't get the Unbearable in position in time. I think they were originally intending to send it as a defense, but instead they had to do this U-turn to the top. And what we're seeing out of Bad Guy here is part of Karst's defense, which is Hevo comes out very early on. Because if you go second, you know they're going turret push, right? So then you can just go like one key, bank as player 2, and then put Hevo right above where the cat is to the east of the cowbell. And then that means that you can shell that turret multiple turns as it's walking across. Now, the way this is shaping up... do you really need to kill this? Also, look at that. That is a yelp of pain. Or they're pooping. I'm pooping! I don't know if people remember that cat meme. There's a meme. This is like 10 years ago or more. There was a meme where it's a cat that's just the way it's screaming, and somebody dubbed over it because the cat has its mouth, like its head thrown back and its mouth open like Creep is right now. And they dubbed over it. The cat is screaming, "I'm pooping." It's hilarious. But anyway, like, I wonder if Bad Guy wins this race ultimately if they just go face here and ignore the creep. Because what I usually do when I turret walk and somebody tries to respond like this, like creep, is I'll just sneak a muffin across the bottom. It might take some juggling of repositioning the follow-up turret, because I usually send an Inoculus or something after it, but generally not. Honey Bear and Charon. I don't know if they're underrated, because Honey Bear absolutely is a very common response for people. Honey Bear definitely shows up as a response from people a lot. But our hero here is banked to 9. What do they got up in store here? We got a little Murder Wing action. All right, banking up to 8. 10 keys remaining for Bad Guys. 7 available. Interestingly enough, Bad Guy chooses to not occupy the stem. And I'm Karen. I forgot all about Honey Bear. Honey Bear is like, if you remember it, it's like, oh yeah, that would be great. But it's one of those phobies that just doesn't occupy the mind share that I think it probably should for most people. You know what I mean? Ooh, we get a little erratic action. I feel like this erratic could have been on the lava and been fine, because it's gonna chain and get it's gonna leech 1,000,000 life. This is scary. So at this point, 4494 to 36. Wow. Now our hero has had a panic point advantage for a good portion of the game, not like the entire game, but like, I don't understand that at all. So the thing that I don't get about the erratic play here is there's There's obviously no way that the erratic is getting to... it's not getting to the stem. So I think it would be better, though, if it had just gone onto the lava last turn. Like, yeah, you don't want to take lava damage, but you're going to leech so much just from hitting these mechs. So I feel like you take the risk. That being said, these 8 keys almost literally don't matter. Like, everything is all about this unbearable bombing the heart here. 321. Rip good guy heart. About that. I don't know what the hell bad guy was trying to do here. Like, what is this jar doing? Lol. Sometimes Henrietta got to do it to you. GG, got him. Well played. Yeah, Phobia is one of my least favorite maps because the most common, so to me, it comes down to this. If you're familiar with other games, say like RTS games or even fighting games, cheese is a common term in those games, and it's intended to describe strategies that are, like, you can come up with a lot of sometimes very colorful descriptions of what cheese means, depending on whether you just happen to be the victim of it. But one of the better definitions of it is a strategy that is so extremely simple to execute, but requires an obscene or exponentially larger amounts of execution to defend. And I think that is true of turret pushes on Phobia, where the obvious play is just shove a turret down their throat. And then the counterplay, if you're not going to win in the turret trading war, is you have to jump through like a million hoops to be able to defend it. Now, Karst has made it look easy, but on a lot of games, a lot of times when you look at some of these ladder games, it is very difficult to really determine, well, would this work if they were even level? Which is kind of a cop-out argument to a degree, because who cares if they were even level? That's irrelevant on ladder. But it's something to consider. Yeah, I mean, Honey Bear does help, but it doesn't 100% solve it, depending on what the game state is. Because what'll happen in a lot of cases is they'll pop out the Honey Bear and go, oh, I'll turn your stim off for a while. Oh, wait, because I'm already behind in the damage race, it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, you lose out on that extra 600, 700 damage a turn or whatever from the stim, but that only matters as far as breakpoints go. Like, once you get to, by the way, there's a Hoovie. Well, it's only a 7-turn game, but there's a Hoovie MVP. If that doesn't cause it to go to a new breakpoint, which it should, but depending on the follow-up, maybe it doesn't. You know what I mean? Like, it may not buy you enough time for it to matter. Probably a test, yeah. All right, so there's 2 of these. We're going to go with this one because this matches the date. All right, Potenzia, our hero here on Diabolical. Jeremy, our previous hero earlier. Chaotic game with a lot of weird. I'm going to steal Jeremy's opener. By the way, don't tell him. So, apparently this is, and we got to switch. Apparently this opener from Bad Guy here, our orange player, is their opener. Like, this is an opener. So, okay. All right. We were kind of busting some balls earlier, but it seems like this is the thing. I normally don't drink Gatorade, chat. And this happens to be Gatorade Zero because, you know, diabetes, trying to keep down the sugars. Which I'm sure that, like, anytime something says, oh, well, this is low carb, 0 calories, 0 sugar, 0 this. And I'm like, okay, so how else am I getting cancer? Because I'm pretty sure you're giving me cancer somehow. I don't know how, but might be the testing game for what Jemery sent in. Possibly. This is at level 1. It is a level 1 frenemies game, so you can't really get level 1 on. I think it's actually literally impossible to get level 1 on ladder. All right, so this is a good play from Bad Guy here. Getting the body block to ensure that their jar doesn't croak, except it still can. Because Pentenzia could fly up to the top and still meatball. Like, there's no protecting this. And at this point, is this worth it? I think it probably is. Like, the jar is a very valuable asset, and I think it's worth trading Murder Wing for it, especially on this map. Now, your Murder Wing is, like I said, definitely going to croak. Never seen a level 1 cowbell? Seen it now? You've seen everything now. Disease is Razor for a reason. I think that was probably just an error on Jeremy's part. Thinking, oh, well, I can body block for the jar. But obviously we saw you're not completely stopping everything. So it could have been an error. It could have been like trying to play mind games and be like, oh, well, if I do this, they'll think it's body blocked and then it'll live, or I don't know. Unfortunately for our hero, that Murder Wing's gonna escape. Blinky on this map? So Blinky's a little weird, because if I recall correctly, I'm pretty sure I played Blinky a few times on this map, and I think it can work. But the big issue is that, well, I mean, it's an undead. Now, the reality is, like, this is 150 disease. Like, also, it's like that stupid meme about coffee or just caffeine. It's like, I'm tired, so I drink caffeine. Now I'm still tired, but I'm fast, or like whatever. That's what this looks like. It looks like the Flash. Flash is like gonna vibrate through an object. Is there a more ridiculous superhero than the Flash, chat? Well, I mean, that's probably not the right way to put it, because there are a lot more ridiculous things, but like the Flash is just dumb as a superhero because the guy is unstoppable. Given the way the powers that they provide the Flash, he's just way too good. Like, he cannot be stopped, kind of thing. I can't believe how much effort had to be sunk into that freaking, really? Just zero cares about their Crushmore. That was a lot of effort to kill a misanthrope. Like, look at this. Senzia said, I'm not dying to this heart rush. I refuse to die to this push. Oh, Hematic Ginsting. The terror of Monster of the Week. Chat, what's the over-under on how many Hematic Ginstings we're going to see in Fright Night? Like, are we going to see it every single game? 2 in every game? Why did this happen? I guess it was going to die anyway, most likely. Although not a superhero, Deadpool is just unkillable. I guess it depends on your definition of superhero, because anti-heroes could fit. And he also does heroic stuff. But he can actually be killed. It's just so impossibly difficult. Like, it is actually possible to kill Deadpool. I'm sure it's actually possible to kill the Flash, but the guy can time travel. He can phase through solid objects by running really fast because of that. Sure, okay. You literally, he apparently can think at super speed, which is like, what exactly? It's just ridiculous. Yeah, the Flash can go so fast. So that actually, the Flash can time travel because of like weird quirks of physics, where because he can go faster than the speed of light, he can do stuff. He can also like restart the universe, which is like, okay. The Flash's powers are just stupid. Then again, like every DC character that was always my biggest problem with DC, is that their character's power level is just so bonkers. There's also, yeah, the what's it called? It's like the Black Racer or something like that. There's like a specifically speedster's version of death. Superman beats him. Here's the thing, like, he doesn't. They actually had a comic where, like, I mean, there's a comic for everything because they've been around for so long, but there was a comic where Flash comes back from the dead, because they all do, and Flash is like, oh, I'm going to go do this thing, and Superman's like, no, I'm faster than you, I'm going to go do it. And the Flash says to him something to the effect of like, remember all those races we did? They were for charity, right? And then he just, like, blows past him. Yeah, bloat. Bloat is the final two keys. I know we didn't really give this game its due. My bad, Potentia. Honestly, the one thing that I will say about this game, specifically, is that Potentia at no point demonstrated any fear of the disease tiles, which is something that I think people aren't doing on Locker Room Funk either. Like, look, do you want to get your phobies diseased and shit? No, of course not. But it's not really meaningful most of the time, and especially on Locker Room Funk, where if push comes to shove, you just heal it off, right? I do wonder if there are viable strategies. Like, for example, people use Hydra a lot on that map. Hydra backed up by 3 Rangers, right? Cerberus could work. I mean, the thing is, Hydra, of course, costs less, but the disease on Cerberus is likely meaningless. Down goes Potentia. And by Potentia, I mean bad guy. Why does bloat bite its lower lip? Like, I don't get it. Why is that a thing? Why is that something that happens? GG. I mean, so does Deadpool. Deadpool does the same thing. Like, so there was something called the Deadpool Killogy. It was 3 books where it's Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. It's exactly what it sounds like. And I forget the last 2, like what the names of them are, but basically, like, so Deadpool kills, like, evil Deadpool, or more psychotic Deadpool, kills all of the entirety of his Marvel Universe. Then he says, well, I'm going to go to other Marvel universes and wipe them all out. Then I'm going to go into classic literature. So he, like, goes and kills Pinocchio and, like, Moby Dick. And, like, he kills, like, classic book characters. And then he goes, I forget what the third one is, but I think he comes back to Marvel, and it's, like, the showdown. So, like, the hero Deadpool has to stop evil Deadpool, and it's, like, the war of Deadpools fighting each other. all the different ones from different universes, because like half the Deadpool side with the evil one and half of them side with the good one. All right, so we have another Jeremy game, but we're going to skip that one for now. All right, we got a little pinapple action. I still want to know, pinapple, let me know. Is it supposed to be pineapple? Or is it like, is this a grenade joke because there's a pin and they look like they're pineapple grenade? Like, I want to know. I want to know. Is that where we're going with this? A classic fire ant game on Mysomania, but with the opponent trying Honey Bear to deal with it. All right, so this could be a good educational game. This could be a good education. It's definitely a longer game than we've seen in the last few. That's a skill inherent in lots of fourth wall breaking characters. What? Going after the creators? I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm actually not a big comic books person. I don't read comics. I once misspelled pineapple and just kind of roll with it. Okay. You could have said it was like a grenade joke. All right, so we are going to get to witness the traps. Really? I guess, like, I get this because if you sent the boom in there, then the boom just gets cooked. Popeye did it back in the original cartoons. I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. That definitely sounds like a Popeye thing to do. I think I've seen more Popeye cartoons than comic books I've read. Actually, I know that's true. That's got to be true. What level is a fire ant? Let's take a peek. That's a level 9 ant. It's a kind of low stress level game. Well, maybe not. That was the level 13. What the? Okay, so bad guy just said, well, I know honey bear is the answer. Putting the honey bear out. All right, get a little hydrate action. And there it is. Honey bear puke. Little honey bear puke. Tickle's a reasonable response. Honestly, like, oh no, this thing lived. I was going to say, did this just die so the honey bear puke is pointless? But it did actually preserve the canine's life. Chuck map? I guess. Like, I've seen Chuck do well on this map, but... Moly Bully, that's a little more unexpected. So I do appreciate the aggressive invade here, and then we're also going to get... I'm pretty sure this recaps in favor of our hero. Yep, you can see it flashing. So, like, this is a good heads-up play. 12 Keys Bank, we're going to see Hevo 4.0, yep. I don't know what the hell that guy's banking for. But our hero was able to capture... Like, look at this line. Just everything that's relevant. Wait, what? So they could have gone Yeti and just frozen the Hevo and then killed it? But they didn't? Seems weird. Alright, trading out the Moly Bully for the Daisy. Seems reasonable. Doesn't have warm-up, though? Does it? Oh, you're right, it does. This is how frequently Yeti comes up. That is a thing that the devs said the other day in response to something else, where I assume it was part of the cupcake discussion. But there was something about wanting to have warm-ups on a lot of things so that you couldn't just abuse them right away. To be honest, I don't know that that's necessary. Like, if somebody's going to... So, this map... speaking of cupcake, on this map in particular, because you can, from the vault, immediately kind of interact with a reasonable fight here, I could get it. But I feel like, for the most part... Maybe not for the most part. Maybe it is the minority of maps. I'm not sure. But I feel like there's enough maps where you can't necessarily interact right away anyway in a meaningful way. I'd have to look at it. Has this honey bear even puked a second time? This is weird to see a cupcake just kind of sit there. I do like the trap placement. I like the trap placement. This is so weird to see Mysomania with these two obstacles still intact. I get it from our hero, but bad guy, like, they had a Gravedigger. And this fire ant is completely controlled this entire game. What? What is this turn? What is happening? I mean, I don't know. It's just weird. What? I get it to a degree because our hero can't kill the Hevo. I mean, with the cupcake for sure. Like, the cupcake should be able to ensure that the ray goes down, but now, because the Klepto and Motherlode positioning, it doesn't matter. Like... There goes Ray, but that Hevo's trapped. That Hevo is trapped. And speaking of traps, eventually bad guy's going to step on one of these. Just a matter of time. I expect the next one to go here, kind of. So technically, this is a trade of 5 keys for 2, but you're gaining a lot of tempo and a lot of board control. Oh, going for the panic point. Never mind. I think that's a better placement. It was just kind of the way they were spread. That's awkward. That being said, you do have the fire ant literally right there. Kablamo, 1182. That'll do it. Alright, bad guy mounting the defense, except ouchies. Gravedigger immediately regrets its decision. And now it's, what, a 4-to-1 panic point advantage? You don't see this kind of setup on Mysomania very often. I think bad guy's response was just like, by the way, they just turned off their own panic point, so now it's 4-0. Now it's a 4-0 panic point advantage. Yeah, bad guy's just throwing away phobies. Just throwing them right into the wood chipper. I don't really have much to say about this one. Like, wow. Interesting. I don't even really, like... They really played both germs, huh? I mean, we saw it, but still. I don't know, chat. I feel like bad guy was just completely lost. The honey bear was a good idea, but it just didn't seem like they ever did anything. I don't know. Either way, GG. Well played, Pinapple. All right, Jack, give me 1 second. All right. All right, chat. We got somebody new to game submissions, Mech-ode. In the blue trunks, up against bad guy, who I was chuckling about their name, just not because it's, you know, just a regular name. I mean, I guess it kind of is. It's just Pepsi. Specifically, Pepsi 1. This is my secret Phobies technique, the keyhole lockdown. Sounds like the good old heebie-jeebie special. Whoa! Whoa! That is, in fact, a turn 1 red Speedola. What the hell was that? That was true dog zoomy fashion. Coming down, doing the loop, and then coming back. It's like, oh, you want to go Thunder Rocks? Well, I'm just going to zip around. I remember the strat from Heebie-Jeebies. I did it once. I distinctly remember I locked somebody in on Eternal Monday. I don't think it lasted very long. Or, like, they just went flyers or something after that. But it was just hilarious for the 5 minutes that it lasted. Now, our hero's opener has led to a 4-1 panic point event. Like, when have you ever seen this panic point spread on Phasmophobia? And we saw a lot of Phasmophobia games the last few days. That is a what? All right. Chat. Okay. Chat. I didn't look before we zoned in. I have no idea what stress level they are. But what stress level do you think they are? What stress level do you think this game is? I'm not gonna lie. This is already way higher than I thought it was. I thought we were gonna look at it was a whole bunch of like level 4 and 5 phobies. Average sum of all fears 1 game. You know what's funny is, like, I do have to recalibrate my thinking because back in my day, Sum of All Fears 1 was still, like, a lot of people were still in Sum of All Fears 1 that are now in Sum of All Fears 3. And it was still, like, reasonable to run into them. I mean, you run into them now anyway, but, like, There's a lot more people in Sum of All Fears 1 now. Like, it is a much larger group of people. That's a woolly bully onto Thunder Rock. What is happening? That's a goose egg in the damage column, other than the electrical. Maggie, huh? Okay. Sum of All Fears 1 is a very good meme territory. Like, it's a very good spot for a streamer because it's like, yeah, you could run into somebody who's really good and you could try and, like, try hard games. Or you just get some weird matches and you just meme it up. Wait, are we really going for this sheep? Why? Really? I mean, this is actually funny. They did say keyhole lockdown. So this is relevant in real-time strategy games doing stuff like this, and you cut off your opponent's reinforcements. You don't want to send, like, your whole army to do it, but it does prevent your opponent from, you know, like, if they can't reinforce and they're across the map, once you, like, you can isolate the forces so that you don't have to deal with a combined powerful army. You deal with two much smaller ones and overwhelm them. But our hero is under a lot of pressure here. Wait, what? Did they pop out Hevo to kill Maggie? What the? Oh, that is like the most expensive fly swatter I've ever seen. Okay, why is this necessary? This can't be necessary. This cannot possibly be necessary. Here, wait, time out. Wait a second, chat. Is that? I just realized something. Like, real talk. Is this an occupiable space? Also, why the hell is that? That was weird. Like, is that an occupiable space? Why is my... What is happening right now? Why is my paint like this? Why is it weird? So if that's not occupiable space, like, when we're talking keyhole lockdown, we literally mean they can't play any more Phobies. If you do not kill that Hevo, they literally can't play Phobies. That's... Okay. Like, this is next level. Next level lockdown. Also, look at bad side right now. That is just awful. That is just awful. This is some next level memes. Sum of All Fears 1 Giga Chat, apparently. They're just gonna they're just gonna stand there. You don't even have to do anything. And this is a lot of HP to chew through. Any one of them. And then when one of them goes down because you had to spend 2 attacks, the next one can go in. And they said it couldn't be done. Mech-ode coming in strong with the memes. The memes, they're real. Panic point advantage still in bad guys' favor. Wait, why did they retreat? Why did they retreat? Wait, what? What did I miss down here? What? Why did they retreat? $12. So I think this dies. But, like, their play has to be... Well, I don't know. I guess they're kind of screwed no matter what. Yeah, they also have the power down, too, which is going to be hilarious when that happens. Chat, has Phasmophobia just been solved? Did Mech-ode just solve Phasmophobia? Because not a single competitor did this yesterday. Yo, no one show this to Alien Engineer. No one show this to Alien Engineer. Oh my god! 35 damage. Yo, you are never getting out. You are never getting out. You can't get out. It's not possible. Yeah, this is actually hilarious. Thumbnail right there. I mean, like this has got to be it, right? Like I have to use this. I have to use this. Hold on, chat. I got to write it down. I was going to use something with the jackalope, but like on a currently a 3-stream streak. Congratulations. That like this is legitimately insane, chat. I don't even know what to say. Inside Manners works finally. This is actually bonkers. It all came down to they popped out Evo and killed Maggie. Wait, why did Bad Side move? I was busy laughing. Yo, the challenge play into the takedown? Oh, how the turntable. Stairmaster's little duck feet getting there. This is ridiculous, Chad. And I swear to God, this entire time I've been thinking, how many games have I played where this might have been possible, and it just straight up didn't occur to me. I wonder how many games... Okay, now, chat, here is your quest. Can you find a way to box your opponent in like this with a power down phobie? I mean, I guess it has to be Wooly Bully. Because, like, you're just not going to do this with Blondie, right? Bad guy immediately moves off the keyhole. Shocker. Okay, never mind. They didn't learn their lesson. I mean, not like it matters. Not like it matters. Mech-ode dropping the Hevo 3.0 on him. GG. I don't... Oh. What do you say to that? You know what you say? You go, that guy was mad. That bad guy was pissed. Bad guy was pissed. Shout out to Mech-ode because, like, that... Oh my Bad guy's pissed. If I was bad guy, I probably would have... Okay, I don't think I would have surrendered the game. I think I would have been laughing too hard. Because it's like, all right, you got me. You got me. All right, chat. After that game, we're back on Diabolical. Renamon's our hero. A totally close game. Let's see if it actually is close or not. The Droney opener, I don't know about that one. It's not possible because most people play better unless Sum of All Fears 1. I know the meme is like Sum of All Fears 1 is somehow bad, but like... I think people underestimate and overestimate a lot of things. Sum of All Fears 1 was inevitably going to become like a meme because they don't drop rank. Which I'd love to know why. I'd love to know why. Because it doesn't really make sense. I mean, I played games with rank floors before. Where, like, say you got to Sum of All Fears 1. You couldn't drop below it that season. But you could drop below it on the season reset. The bad guy trying to take the aggressive panic points here away from our hero. The positioning here for the Ray is cute and all, but wait, what? Are you going to body block with something else? Okay, okay. I mean, I guess. I feel like the Ray should be able to stay put. Maybe not. A classic opener, clearly. I mean, honestly, the way Bad Guy played that was fine. You know, you lost a 1 key so far for the panic point advantage. Or a brief panic point advantage, I guess. This must have been like the mech event, right? This seems extreme. Oopsie Baby is definitely underrated, but is that really what you want here? So part of me, real talk chat, part of me feels like Zappy was created explicitly because the devs knew they were going to create these sort of events to encourage people to be like, well, I'm going to be 100% mechs. So let's have a mech that's an anti-mech. Rossi's better 100%. Well, yes, but not everybody had 100 bones at the time. That's a mother... Yeah, this has got to be the event, right? Pretty aggressive from Bad Guy here. Notably attacking the Ray. Is this Ray dead? Okay, Ray does die. I was going to say it's a little bit over-aggressive if the Ray didn't die, but since it died, that seems fine. Tiny Tim breaking the pattern. So, I guess that was just an error from Renamon. I don't see any obvious way that you're going to get, like, a ton of value out of this. It's like, alright, you kill the Droney. The mother load being there doesn't do much. I mean, breaking that block does give the mother load a backdoor to get onto the disease tiles, which is fine. Because you'll actually be able to interact with the Speedola a little bit. But this honestly seems like a lot of pressure onto our hero here. Interesting. Very interesting. Ooh, all right, we're going to get the break here. I mean, bad guy did offer this oopsie baby up to a degree. Yeah, that oopsie baby really didn't need to be there. The follow-up oopsie. I'm not gonna lie, this doesn't seem like a close game so far. Unless this suddenly turns into a heart race. Which it very easily could at this stage. I like Sparky, but it's hard to find value. Do you mean Zappy, or do you actually mean Sparky? I don't know if that's a non sequitur, or if that's looking at the board and just saying the wrong name. Life is good when you especially just got Klepto. Congrats, Steino. Welcome to the Klepto Club. That sounds weird. That's not what I meant. I don't like Sparky. That's probably because Sparky's not very good. I only said it because the game said it was a close game. I don't know how the game determines that sort of thing. I mean, the only one that I know is that crushing victories and defeats, or whatever they call it, will happen if one person surrenders, or you just get bodied. Klepto is mid. I don't know what game you're playing. Apparently the meme game. It's all for the memes. Bad guy getting bullied out of their spot. I was about to buy the bloat avatar. How much is the bloat avatar? Bad guy, I guess, forgot about the AoE ability. 300 beans? I don't know how much that is in real dollars offhand. Six key Klepto or 8 key boss? Why is it either or? It's often both. Zero keys to zero keys. Kerbloom! Got him. Need room for a Kiragonzo? I think you can still get all of those. That's 13. That's 20. 13. 21. 27. How many do you get on a big map? Because it's 25 on a small map, right? 24 and 25? 37? I thought it was in the 30s. There's not a whole lot to say about this game. Like, Renamon was in complete control of virtually this entire game. I mean, bad guy had a little bit of a stretch there until they lost the oopsie baby, and that was kind of the watershed moment in the game. The game completely spun around then. I love the attack animation for Molly and Tiny. But yeah, to be honest, our hero could just park Zappy on the stim and then send everything else to deal with their team. It looks like that's exactly the plan. I was going to turn the camera on, but she's like right behind my chair, so you won't be able to see her. The irony of powering down, I don't know if it really counts as an irony, but it's kind of funny powering down Tiny Tim, who never wants to attack anyway. That's over 1,000 damage from this guy. I was about to say, I don't know why the mother load repositioned, but I guess it was just for the purpose of saving the Clinico? I guess? That guy, that what do you do? I don't even know what they're doing. What is bad guy's game plan here? Realistically, there was nothing they could do, but we got there, chat. We got him. I can hear her grunting behind me. Hold on. Nope, you definitely can't see her. She's like literally right behind me, so I can't move the chair. Her idea of a rough day is just she got one less nap than usual. Like, that's about it. Yeah, sorry, no puppy this time. She's just out of frame. Trust me, she's here. All my friends are here, smiling. They're just out of frame. All right, this is a long one. We got Dios versus Kuro. Dios is playing the role of bad guy here. Kuro, our hero. I don't know what this game was. Well, look, Kuro, come on. This is a safe place. We can talk about this. You started Moly Bully, and you're asking why the game is weird? You go turn 1 Moly Bully, go. And you didn't. You go turn 1 Moly Bully into go to your spa. Like their spa. And you wonder why the game is weird? Kuro. Come on, Kuro. What is you doing? For a second, I thought that Moly Bully was going to die. Listen, I was trying to do new things. Yeah, but you can't be like, well, this was weird. Well, okay, you're being the weird one. You're making it weird. It's not weird unless you make it weird. No, I think you're making it weird. Yo! What? All right, that takes some stones. Those are some balls right there. Wait, you didn't kill the boomer? Would you have 3 keys? You could have popped a snowball to get it. I think like leaving that thing alive feels like a mistake. Obviously Moly's dead, but to be honest, you know, I don't know that it really was worth 4 keys, but you did get a jar at least. God, I'm starting to get a second wind. I'm like super tired. It because of like all the real life stuff. It's been tough streaming the last few weeks. Where it's just like, it's actually physically draining more so than usual. So, they have a useless phobia. I don't mind keeping it alive. I mean, Boomer's not useless. Keeping, I'm stuttering here. I don't agree that leaving them with a 1 key like that is a good idea. Yes, they have 2-1 keys, but I don't think you should leave it alive if you can help it. But they do go Sasquatch. Now that's a thing. Oh, poison ivy action. I don't know if I love the trap where it is. I don't know that putting it on the center is significantly better. This isn't dead, is it? Ooh, that doesn't feel good. Like, how do you push the hematic away at this point? Obviously, the Sasquatch is gunning for your Innocuous, but the thing is, the Sasquatch is 8 keys. All right, that looks pretty dope. Like, look at the trap. Even the trap looks pretty sweet. Although, it 100% looks like... Well, first I was going to say that it's like zapping Gravedigger right in the crotch. Like, tell me that doesn't look like an anime kick in the junk, right? I don't watch anime, but it feels like that, where it's just like the character suddenly enlarges as they scream and they're getting hit right in the wiener. Like that's what that looks like right there. All right, down goes Gravedigger. Makes sense. All right, so we're gonna body block out the Gin Sting. That makes sense. That's how we dislodge it. Panic point advantage remains orange. Now that was a scream of pain from Gravedigger. Yeah, he's got laser beamed right in the PP. I think that's not gonna feel good. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor, but I don't think a laser beam directly to the PP is gonna feel good. Okay, so here's the thing. Have you tested that yet? No, that's why I'm not an expert. I'm pretty sure if an invisible phobie... What the fuck? Oh, shit! Oh my god. That was the Sasquatch. I was like, what the hell just happened? Because I was trying to say, I think if an invisible phobie steps on a trap, it will still activate. But this, yeah, you guys missed it? Watch. Oh, wait, I gotta go back. Hold on. That was just like, I don't know how Kuro, I think Kuro just like literally randomly moved there kind of thing. Although I don't know why you had it there. Like, so I guess there is a risk of... No, that wouldn't work. I have no idea why you moved this here. I was trying to avoid splash. Yeah, but like... You can't... the only splash that could hit is hematic. Like, they can't hit the jar with Noxious. Because Noxious would have to go here, thereby only hitting these two. Like, I don't think there's any way for Noxious to hit the jar. Either way, sniping the Sasquatch. Little beauty action. I mean, that's an enormous loss. I wonder what the Sasquatch was going for. Because it was pretty damn deep. It was pretty deep. Blondie? Really? Yo, what's the third Blondie gonna do? Like, Hydra Blondie, and then what's the third one gonna do? Because if there's a Phobie that needs the 3 for the family the most, it's the one with 3 heads, right? The Brony action. This doesn't... AoE buff like Blondie? That feels like it will not be healthy. Wait, what? Couldn't Dios have just gone in with the Blondie, put it where the Noxious is, and turned off, like, all but the jar? So, like, you'd have to pull back as Dios, but then you could re-engage. Like, hold on. So if Dios puts... I don't know why my cursor is like this now. Like, if Dios puts Brony... What the hell is with the cursor? Why is it like this now? What's happening? So if they put it here, right? This is hit, this is hit, this is hit, this is hit, this is hit. So this is safe, and this is safe. 1, 2, 3. You can't be here. So you just move back 1, then move back. Move back. Move back. If you went, like, well, you don't even have to move the Noxious, but you kind of need to get the Jin Sting out of the way. I don't know. I feel like you could have just Blondied and then just... I don't know what Kuro does from there. Instead, you Blondie and turn off a bunch of your team for no reason. I mean, I guess you get first act here. You know, like, you go in, you get your attack, and then you can swing back out. But it doesn't feel like they're in position to do anything now. Yeah, I don't know that I love this Blondie play. All right, sure. Zero keys remaining. Hematic is poison. This is a little awkward. Oh, for a second, I thought the Hematic was going to go on to the stem. I guess you might as well move it. I was trying to see, like, why not just leave the beauty, but it's probably better just to move it. But at this point, Brony's worn off, and, I mean, I don't really know exactly... This is the big issue with Brony. If the Brony hit does not end the game, it kind of goes the other way, because now you're effectively down a Phobie for a very, very long time. Like, even Heartbreaker, while it's cooling down, could go up and slap something. or in the process of dying, you end up, ouch. Ouch. Even in the process of dying, like, you'll get a displacement and a big damage hit because the Heartbreaker does do a significant amount of damage. Tis not to be. Ouch. Noxious and Brony versus the squad. Don't think it's happening. Oh, they still have Boomer. For some reason, I thought that Boomer was Kuro's. I don't know why. The Brony still gets its second dance off. That Boomer lived through the whole game. It's true. Despite the second Brony hit, I don't think that's going to make much of a difference. All right, Positive. Thanks for hanging out. Brony poison. We're closing in towards the end of the game. I get the sense that Poison Ivy is swimming when it moves. Poison going down on Noxious. There's too many spas for it to matter. Although Dios is definitely, or desperately, trying to make this heart push work. And then there was Boomer. Panic point advantage hero. Phobie advantage hero. Boomer cannot deal damage to the heart. Well played there, Kuro. Definitely a long one, but well played. Yeah, I don't know that it definitely comes down to that Brony turn, the first one. But it certainly feels that way. It certainly feels that way. Cooked Boomer. GG. GG. All right, chat. I'm going to take a quick break, and then we'll finish up the rest of the games. I didn't even get to play a game this week, but that's all right. That's all right. I'll be right back. Don't go away. I think that looks better on the BRB image. I just have to move my contact stuff. But anyway, chat. Open 5 Dreads got Motherload and Doom Doom. Well, congratulations on half of that. My condolences for the other half. Honestly, Doom Doom might be okay. But we need more level 1 stuff. The other problem is most of the time when we've seen Doom Doom, it kind of feels like the people who threw Doom Doom out there, most of the time, not all the time, but most of the time are throwing it out there. It's like, oh, well, this just beats traps. And it doesn't. You have to put in some effort for it to matter, and they just end up losing because it kind of feels like, oh, well, I'll just beat the traps inherently. All right, positive play. not present for their own game replay. They were here earlier in the stream, but not here now. Crypto game. This game made me laugh at the absurdity. All right, let's see how absurd this game is. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This has come up a lot. What is the purpose of crypto showing up like every other rotation? No one likes this map. Literally no one. In fact, I think before the whole bomb strategy was ID'd, and like before even before full disclosure, no one liked this map. Can I suggest a game after this one? Just put it in the spreadsheet. Sunday is for the spreadsheets, or something like that. I mean, it is, because that's what we're doing. We do all the games out of the spreadsheet. So we get the early block play from bad guy, which is like, yeah, that's cute and whatever. We've seen that a lot. It's been a while since we saw it, but it's fine. Hero with the Chuck. Let's go. It's funny because I think PositivePlay, shout out to the Leela avatar, PositivePlay was talking about Chuck on a different map. What map were we talking about? I forget what map it was, but they're like, yeah, this is definitely a Chuck map. And it's like, yeah, sure, it's a Chuck map. A lot of the early maps do feel like, to a degree, that the devs may have thought Chuck was going to be more of a problem than it actually is. What's funny is, because bad guys maxed out here, they don't really have an answer to the Chuck. There's not going to be enough damage that you're going to be able to kill the Chuck. Certainly not enough damage, and they won't be able to, our hero won't be able to punish you for it. But they are forcing the engagement here. Oh my god. Really? 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 It didn't have to be this way. It didn't have to be this way. But these are the games, honestly, that I like to see. I've said it on many occasions with respect to Monster of the Week. And I think it would be fair of the devs to handle it a similar way. If you think something's broken, prove it. Show me that it is. This can't possibly be the best line for bad guy here. But I get the sense that they are tilted and kind of thrown in the towel. Because that is a very much alive Klepto. And that is 3/4 of bad guy's team in range of the Chuck and Klepto. Not the cupcake game. I mean, had to do it to him, I guess. Our hero even had enough keys to still manage it. Like, that's ball game. I saw this live with him. Positive laughed maniacally for about an hour after this. It's a very silly sequence. It's a very stupid sequence. Now, realistically, Cupcake probably would be problematic on this map anyway. Maybe, I don't know if I want to say all small maps. I'm assuming if Cupcake had a warm-up. Because, like, yeah, bad guy wouldn't have been caught off guard there, but inevitably Positive is able to just bully them out and or, like, so here's where I'm going with this. Oh, there she is. There's a good baby. So let's assume for the moment that Cupcake got a warm-up, so you can't just pop it out like that. At the end of the day, I think what's going to happen is, like in that scenario, it then becomes a positioning battle of Spider versus Chuck. But I think Chuck ultimately wins that due to the Cupcake. And you'll bully them out. So all it's doing is, like, the map is the problem. And I don't know, like, yeah, there are bad scenarios that are avoided by adding the warm-up to Cupcake. But there are some maps that I think are unsalvageable. And, you know, which is worse? Having a 4,000 turn game on Crypto where your opponent slowly bullies you out of position with Chuck? Or a game that just ends like this because, oops, I wasn't standing on my vault. Like, I don't know which is worse. They're both pretty bad. That's why I think, like, yes. And I'm not saying you can't fix multiple problems, but at a certain point, there are just problems and they need to be fixed. All right, we got one more. We got a Gravedigger game, and then we'll probably call it a night early. I'm tired. Normally, I would try and get in, like, the last 3 games that are in the queue, but I'm tired. Very tired. All right, Gravedigger battling our previous hero in Positive Play. He tried to fire at me on Fornacified. Found out the hard way how I handle that. So, gotta switch. Almost didn't switch scenes there, chat. So, I think Karst was the first person I saw bring up this idea. Where going second on Fornacified, you can just go 1-key bank like this. Or just, like, effectively just bank. I think the original plan was just literally don't even play anything and then go Fire Ant. And your opponent would be incapable of pressuring you enough for it to matter. So Positive here, getting up to that all-important 7 keys in order to get the aforementioned Fire Ant online. Here we go. All right, so presumably there's a trap on the center tile. Now, since Gravedigger opened Tickles, I don't know if there was an agreement between the players like, all right, we're going to test this scenario, because Tickles is kind of an odd 1-key to start with. I mean, a lot of players do start Tickles, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, but the trap did not, in fact, go down onto the panic point. Definitely makes sense, since our orange player probably was anticipating the Tickles would recap there. Jar to finish it off. So far, so logical. Venus, huh? So, this is kind of dangerous. This is kind of dangerous. I get why the Venus is showing up. It's going to try and pick off some of these traps. Being a 2-range trapper, it can drop traps at a fairly safe distance to ensure that you're not... It's not like Unicorn walking up, putting a trap on something, and then activating the Fire Ant trap. This seemed optimistic. I was a little surprised to not see the Venus move up to, like, here in front of the Inoculus and then put the trap to the southeast of the stem. Because that's kind of where I expect that trap is right now, the initial Fire Ant trap. There might be a second one out by now. We didn't test, I just start Tickles, learn from him. Tickles is like Boomer, but can move on conveyors, absorb traps, and can deal damage, so it's just a better Boomer. I agree. I agree Tickles is a better Boomer. And I forgot when, I think it was on stream, I discovered that Tickles has such an enormous HP pool. I'm like, yeah, this guy's really good. I liked Tickles before, but I love Tickles now. All right, the slow demolition of the map by Gravedigger is still underway. Crushmore supplementing bad guys' forces. Notably not swinging the cat in, because... Oh, well, never mind. It was already in Orange's favor, so it actually had to be Cowbell and then cat. So if we're going to get into a one-key exchange... I don't love the idea of repeatedly placing this trap on the center panic point. Mostly because these one keys are going to eat it, live, and then in the meantime, Positive is able to load up the rest of the map with traps. Okay, we're getting a trap going down somewhere else. That's fine. Now I've got to kill 3 monsters with Tick. Oh no. That sounds not fun. I'm assuming there was no way for bad guy to kill the Venus, because it feels like there was an aggressive play where, like, you leap with Cassowary, Fire Ant off of the stem, and Crushmore. I don't know if that kills it. Probably not. Fire Ant's damage output is baseline fairly low. My opponent went Blondie Hydras. Sounds like that Tick is not getting the job done. Only 1 key remaining already. This is actually very interesting. So, the Venus didn't play Minesweeper like I thought it was going to. Inoculus is, as it is on a ton of maps, just an absolute terror. But this 1-key trading war ended up resulting in Gravedigger having the advantage. Still 5 keys remaining, maxed out at the moment, but still 5 keys remaining. So the question becomes, how does Gravedigger flip the point? Presumably Creep goes in. That's a dead Inoculus. I guess you can get whatever the hell you want now. Ooh, Honey Bear. We saw this earlier. And that's actually great placement. Disables the stem, disables the point, disables what's presumably a trap right in front of the Venus. Well done, Gravedigger. Wow, that's not even enough damage to kill it. Ouch. Because Venus can put a hurt on things. It's funny, we watched a game earlier where bad guy tried to counter our hero's Fire Ant with Honey Bear and couldn't quite pull it off. But here it does work out. This is cute. Blocking the access here. I mean, ultimately, this will wear off, and you know that there's traps in here, so this is highly dubious. Oh no, there was a trap up there. That's a cooked jar of pee. All right, bad guy's not out of this yet. Triple panic points, though. Great heads-up play, realizing the victory condition here. Honey Bear gonna close the deal. GG, well played. Honestly, I like that, although the entire premise is that bad guy went for, like, we'll call it a fire ant rush. Just getting to fire ant ASAP. And to be honest, they might have been able to skip the turn 1 cowbell and do it, which is concerning. If that's really viable. I think the counter was definitely very well executed, clearly practiced. Maybe not like this being practiced, but like, you know, you knew what to do. So pretty well done. GG. All right, chat. That was 10 games for this evening. I'm going to call it a night because I'm just super tired. This was a very, very stressful week, very exhausting week, very physically demanding week for different reasons. So we'll be back tomorrow, assuming that I don't get hospitalized again. We'll be back tomorrow for some variety. We'll see what we're playing. It's going to depend on how tired I am and whether I can feel up to playing Hunt or something. But, yeah. Other details, if you're interested in Monster of the Week, our weekly Phobies tournament series, hit up the Random Thoughts Discord. That's where you're going to get news about that, as well as Fright Night first. So definitely do that. Link for that in the description alongside the Twitch link and, of course, the like and subscribe buttons. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Help me out there. But we're going to call it an evening. As always, everybody, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Tune in next time for more Random Thoughts.